Welcome, everybody. I have my friend with me, very dear friend of mine who has supported me since day one of marketing and content creation and sharing. And he is having his own impact in creative ways that are just really spreading like a wildfire through various avenues like media, content creation, and photography, which you know what that
Yep,
means to me as
yep,
a
yep.
model. So let's get right to it. Please meet Marvin Daly as we
What's
creatively chat
happening
about making an influence across the world.
across the world? Jeez.
Well, you're
Thanks for
where?
having
Where are
me,
you
Bennett.
located?
I am located, I like to say Toronto for people who don't know, but very specific is Brampton, Ontario, which is outside of Toronto. It's not very far, but it's outside of Toronto area. But nobody really knows, although it's not a small city, but nobody really, who's not from here, they don't know. So I say Toronto. So I'm from Toronto, the greater Toronto area.
That's
That's right.
right. Put your city on the map, because I'm in the
Right?
US, as you know. So we are international and we're making this influence around the world.
Yep. Yep.
So tell me about what you're doing, what you've been up to lately. I know I saw you have a podcast. What are you guys talking about? What's going on with that?
The podcast. Yeah, let's start there. I'm happy you bring that up.
Yeah, how to
Um,
get started?
it's funny how it started. And it's, as I was telling you before, I don't call it a podcast, although it is a podcast because it's actually live on Spotify. So I was talking to my friend a couple nights ago, and then he was asking me because I'm sick, I'm in lockdown, with COVID. And
We're praying for you.
thank you. Hey, happy mood. I'm good.
You can't tell. You look
So
good.
thank you. So he was telling me that he don't know what to do with himself. He feel like he's not doing nothing with his life and all this sort of talks, right? And I don't like to talk like that. And I try, when people try to talk like that, I try to show them or give them an angle of like, listen, you're not bad at what you're doing, or your life is not sucky or crappy or whatever it is that you're saying. It's just that you may be in a situation temporarily, and it just appears to be the way you see it.
Amen.
And so I'm like, listen, you know a lot about sports. You're very good at it. Why don't you start a sports talk? You don't have to be on camera. You can do a podcast. Nobody sees your face because you are very aware of people seeing you. So I understand that. So I'm like, podcast works. You just talk to the phone. It goes out there. Nobody sees you. Nobody know who you are. And good. He was very like, I'm like, listen, I'm gonna send you a link. Answer the call, and let's just talk. And that's what happened. So I sent him the link from what's it called? I forgot what it's called. It's from Spotify, and we just talked for 10 minutes about the sports. We talked about the two games that happened yesterday, the wildcard games, or Friday, and that was it. And it turned out so good. So there you go. There was a podcast, and even him was telling me, "Man, that was pretty good." I'm like, "Bro, this is it.
Wow.
This is it. You just gotta sometimes just do and worry about what's gonna happen after."
Every
And if
time.
yeah, and that's where I live. I just do, and then I make adjustments in the middle of it, and you know that,
Yeah, you inspired me and like tutored me, and look at where we are now as a result. So,
right?
and it sounds like you're still inspiring and pushing others. And you have this very gentle approach that works with, I guess, people like your friend that you invite on the show and myself. Like that tough love thing is not a productive approach for me. It is not. If you want me to
Yeah,
not do something, give me some tough love because I swear I won't do it. But if you're like, a little encouraging, a little confident boost and all that, that feels good. I'm pageant queen. Like I need that sort of
right.
encouragement. And you were always just so giving, and just really open. And I'm happy and proud to hear that you're saying like, oh, the show went well and we spoke for 10 minutes and that's how it came about. But also what I hear is you just push somebody to learn something that they're capable of that they didn't even have the confidence for prior to your influence. And that's exactly
Exactly.
what we're about here on this show. So I know you'll touch many more lives, like including, mine, Melody, Emmy, everybody else that's already directly attached to you. But even those who are going to see this message, who are going to listen to your non-podcast thing.
You see, I think it's important to support people in the way that you know that they would accept it, and not the way that you believe that you should give it,
Wow.
right? Because I know for a fact he's not getting on the camera, so I can't be like, let's go now on something like that. That's a no. And I know that if I were to leave it up to him, it's never gonna happen. I understand to give it the easiest way for him to accept it without it feeling like it's a thing. And now that it's done, he realized, oh man, that was simple. I can do this again.
He had fun too, probably.
It was fun,
Hmm.
right? And so that's just who I am. I just like to, I guess, as you said, give.
Yes, you're
Right?
a giver.
I
That just
like to
gave me
give.
chills. 'Cause there's a purity in your nature that, many people don't hold on to. I believe we all have that initially, and then some people allow the challenges of life or the mistreatment of others or the lack of appreciation and rejection, all that stuff to make them withhold those beautiful natural traits that God gives us to intuitively, instinctively give to others what we feel, they need. And if it's in our ability, we should. And you just so freely give. And it's a beautiful thing. And I'm glad that no matter what you've gone through, you don't look like anything you've been through, and I don't even know if you've had challenges, but we all have had them, right?
Oh,
And
trust
B,
me.
you're still so kind, loving, and giving in nature. So, may God allow you to always just attract more people like you.
You see, thank you. I believe that the more you give, the more you will receive. But you can give expecting to receive. Right. So
Wow.
I don't give to receive, but I know that giving allows you to get. Because if you give openly, you're open, which means you're open to receiving back the same thing that you're giving. And I've always believed that. And so I would give and give and give and give and give. And even if I don't have, I will find and give. Because it just makes me feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
You
that's
ever
just
heard of The Strangest Secret?
no, no.
It's by Earl Nightingale. I recently started coaching,
Okay.
like a few months ago, coaching entrepreneurs, coaching. It starts out with coaching people into wellness, but that's the whole person, right? Mind, body, spirit. And so, once you get to mind, that's what they're doing and creating income. So to kind of jolt them into a new version of themselves, I give them a plan. And part of that plan is listening to Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret. It's about 30 minutes long. And I ask them to do it every day for 30 days. Now, within that, as you're doing it, you'll hear different things because of attention span, because he's dropping so many nuggets, because you're probably multitasking since it's an audio. But one of the things he says is, as a business owner, for 30 days, give as much of yourself to your business and to others without asking anything. And he was like, and watch what happens. So, you're just a testimony of how real that is.
Yeah, I think it's really real. I've never heard of Earl Nightingale, but
I'll send it to
um
you. You're gonna love it.
please
It's
do.
really old
I
though, so it's got like this old sound, like
right,
it's like black and white status. So he's like got one of those older voices. Like
right.
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, no, I know, I get it. Yeah, no, I do really believe in that. And again, that's just the way, that's how we met. That's how
Yeah,
we met
that's
initially,
exactly how we
right?
met.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't do it just for, I guess, fame or for recognition. I just do it because it's somebody needs help and I got what they need. So here, let's go. All right.
Amen. Amen. So speaking of people needing help, I saw your recent share about helping others to take better pictures. That was such a cute little share that you made. You're like, hey, your pictures look like this. They shouldn't. Let me help you. So share more about what you're doing in photography to have the same energy of like helping others to be more confident or, just bringing a positive influence.
Right. So I I fell in love with photography. I can't even say the word properly, so I'll just butcher it. What I fell in love with photography, and I when I like something, I put my all into it, and I go hard into it. Got really good at the the basics of it and understanding how to take great photos and how to now running a business, a photography business, and I didn't only want to learn from me because I know that some of my friends, I don't think you know that part. Some of my friends also like taking pictures. I didn't know that. So what I did, being new, I still created a group and started teaching them what
Wow.
I know. Yeah, I don't think I told you that.
Because you are a great teacher. I'm so glad to hear that.
And yeah, and there's a couple of them that's really doing well, and I'm proud to say, like, hey man, wow, like, with my coaching, the little that I know a lot because I study a lot, but it's still a little in comparison to, you know what I mean. And I just share willingly because, again, sometimes when it comes to like business and whatever, there's a competition, and people always seems to compete with each other for
Right.
whatever reason, instead of help to elevate each other. They try to bring each other down.
I agree.
And I could have that because I could have been like, oh man, I'm starting a new business. If I were to teach all these guys what I know, maybe they'll be better and get all the clients. And then
Yeah.
I'll be selfish. But that was not my mindset. I was like, I will need help one day. You guys all want to know what I know, so let me just share willingly. Who accepts it, accepts it. Who doesn't, doesn't. But that's not on me.
Wow.
My job is to give. Your job is to receive. And whether you receive it or you don't receive it, I did my job. And so, yeah, I'm proud that's going well. I have a couple of guys that's doing good, and I'm proud. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it.
Yeah, your passion is so genuine. And there's a resounding, like it's really echoing basis of all of this that I would say, and it's love, right? Because there's a scripture and I just posted about it, and it says, "Whoever does not love does not know God." And so, because God is love, and we all know that
God is
scripture as
love.
well. Yeah, and so what I hear, and then there's the other scriptures about what love is. Love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, it does not boast, it does not keep an account of
Right.
wrongdoing, all of that stuff. So when you're talking about giving freely, you're talking about loving freely and purely and selflessly. And that just, wow, you're such a good guy. That's so cool.
She's you.
Yeah. Segue here. Let's talk about like gender things real quick, because I don't really have this in my network, but I see it being promoted way too much on like social media. And it's like, gender bashing, right? So it's like, um, men are horrible because of this, that, and the third. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like, even though I've gone through some things, as you know, but even though I've gone through some things, I don't see that because it's not really been, I can see the person versus like the actions. Cause I guess I love freely too, right? So I keep no
Right.
account of like wrongdoings and stuff like that. But it breaks my heart when I hear women say like, there are no good men out there and da da da, because I know so many of you. You know what I mean? I
Right.
know so many of you. And then on
Well,
the reciprocal where they're talking about women the same way, and it's like, hi, you see me though, right?
what I'm gonna say about that is, men, for the people that say men are no good or there's no good men or whatever it is that they say, well, I mean, who are you looking for? Like,
Mm,
men are no good because you're looking for the ones that have, I don't know, maybe the nice cars and the nice this, but nobody's perfect. So if you're looking for perfection, then you won't have that. And if you're judging it based on perfection, then yeah, you're right. nobody's good. Because ain't nobody's perfect. You're not
Including the
perfect. I'm
woman
not
with that
perfect.
mentality, right?
Right. And so that's what I believe. I believe the people that say there is no good man is because they have something that they expect and they haven't found the one to fulfill that part of it. And so everybody that they find is no good because they can fulfill that, which makes sense because they can give you what you want. So to you, they're
Wow.
not good. But that doesn't mean to somebody else that they're not great. So it's
Yeah.
hard to, it's, I feel like we just make judgments and especially when we hurt him, we just say things, right? Oh, men are no good, men is dogs, this is that, women are no good, blah, 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 blah. We're humans and we're not perfect. That's what I stick with. We are not perfect. We're gonna mess up. We're gonna mess up again. And then we're gonna mess up again. All the time. And if you can't deal with that, then I don't know how to help you. You know what I
That
mean?
part.
No, it's true though, because you won't have that because the perfect relationship that you see on social media is not perfect
Fake.
at all. They're perfect in public.
Mm-hmm.
When they go home, it's war.
Mm-hmm. Sleep in separate rooms, probably. Mm-hmm.
Right. So what are you looking for? You know, what are you judging them based on?
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
And I guess you got to figure those things out. When you figure that out, then start searching. First of all, you gotta know what you want. Like know what you want. And then break it down from there. And then you'll realize that, oh man, it's not that the guys that I left were bad. They just didn't grow into that as yet. Maybe they were immature. Maybe they were young. Maybe they went through something and were going through a hard time in the background that you didn't know about, but you were just judging them based on the face. Right. People go through a lot of things, man. People are going through heartaches.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes out in the worst ways sometimes. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't
And
mean
to
they're a
the
bad
closest
person.
people.
Right. So know what you want. That's,
Yeah. So
you
what
know.
I hear you saying as a man who's been married, how long?
Oh man, you put me on the spot now,
Oh,
man. Come on. Jeez. 7 years.
there
Oh
you
my
go.
gosh.
Boom, 7 years.
I had
And
to
strong, and may
hey,
God bless your union.
did you see how to think about that? I'm like, oh,
But I mean that makes you a real man because I've never seen one know the answer like immediately. I never
No.
seen that before, not even in the movies. But what I hear you saying as a married man of 7 years, a successful loving marriage, is that the woman, people with these different mentalities need to look inside of themselves. She said a couple of things like she needs to know what she wants. She needs to know what she's expecting from others. So all of that is she needs to know. She needs to know. Inside of her is where the
Right,
challenge
right.
may be. There's an expectation that she has, yada yada. I hear that loud and clear. And to people who are going to watch this, who might get a little irritated about our perspective on that conversation, to give them something productive to do to shift that if they really are serious about attracting that person, I would say thoughts become things. And that's a whole movie that can be watched on Amazon Prime, but it's called Thoughts Become Things. And that's real. So
I believe
the
that, yeah.
second, what'd you say?
No, I say I do believe whatever you think, you attract. So thoughts
That's
become
right.
things.
So
If you
when you're
think it,
like,
you're yeah.
yeah, so when you're like, there's no good men out there, what you're gonna get? More no good men out there, right? Like you're gonna
Right.
bring that in because you let that escape your mouth. Now it's a thing that's gonna come find you. But to alternate that perspective and that language to, people are beautiful and I effortlessly attract beautiful people into my vibration, from the inside out. Like then you get a network like you and I have, like people who are super selfless with the way they love, super selfless with the way they give, you know. Wow, I could go on and on about that, but everybody will be coming here. So each person will get to see how genuine that is for myself and my network.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
it's a mindset thing, right? Like get your thoughts together so that those things can come together. Like
Right, right. Right. That's where it starts. It starts in your mind. It starts with your thoughts, and then your action follows. So if you think about the worst things, then the action that you're going to put forth is going to be based on the worst things that you just thought about, right? If you're
Yeah,
thinking about the positive things, the good things, then your action and whatever you do is going to be based on that, right? So you gotta train your mind to see what you want.
that's right. And then, another point I would make to what you said, you're like, what is she expecting? And like, what is it that she wants? Like, she needs to know herself. And a lot of people, I'm not going to target a gender, but a lot of people don't really do the inner work before they start inviting other people into their lives. So what I mean by that is like those places that are, like you said, people go through things and you mess up, you're going to mess up again. And that's not the problem, is not messing up. It's like not learning what's triggering you into messing up, or not having the accountability of like, yo, I was the one who made that mistake. Let me go make that right. It's like, it's about what you do when you mess up. And for
Right,
people who are
right,
not there in that maturity yet, or in that level of growth, when you're single, you're supposed to be working on those things, like, okay, where does that come from in myself? What experience do I have that has caused me to hurt others, or that caused me to behave this way? Or like, that's what people are supposed to be doing, not thinking about what do I expect from this person when they come into my life, and what is it that they got to give me, give me, give me. No, what is it like? Who are you? What is your character like? What is the essence of you? What is your purpose? And how will that complement your partner, so that y'all
right.
are able to keep growing together instead of growing apart?
Yeah,
You know?
you're right. But here's what I'm gonna say about that though. Um, you are 100% correct about what they should be thinking about, but we both know that that's not really on the top of your mind. Like nobody's thinking about that. You're singing like whatever. I'm single now. I'm gonna just do me. Yeah, I'm
Toxic,
gonna do me.
toxic.
Right? I'm gonna just do me until you meet somebody unexpectedly, but then you didn't deal with whatever it is, and
You
then now
weren't
you jump
ready.
back into something new.
Hmm.
But like nobody's thinking about, okay, I just break up. What about me should I face? I don't think there's that person, right? I don't
Yeah, it's
think
a
people
very
think
small
like
group of people who do that. That is a rare, that's a rare
right,
thing. Yes, it is.
right. So it's probably the best thing to do, but I don't know how much people that actually does it. Me
There are
personally,
phases of it, like phases of like the going out, that's a phase of it, right? So do I actually feel better when I get home? Am I still like
right.
unfulfilled? Okay, I got the one night stand home with me. I can play house and pretend
Mm,
that this is a girlfriend thing, but I know it's going nowhere, a boyfriend thing, but what is going on here? Like there are triggers that are supposed to make the person look inside themselves. But to your point, their response is, I rather avoid. I rather avoid. It's too much to be
right,
accountable for what I'm doing to others and to myself.
right, right. So yeah, it's relationships are tough. Dealing with human beings are tough because we are all so different, and our triggers are so different, and it's just hard. So sometimes I sympathize with people, right? Because it's hard, right? Because we all go through it, man. We all go through some times where it's like, oh my god, like what is this life? Right? But then
Yes.
the thing is, when you're going through that, you can't make decisions. You gotta wait until you come out of it,
Right.
and then you can think about it. Because if you think about making decisions when you're down, you make the worst decisions always. Because you're in the worst place in your life, right? There's no way to make a good decision down there, right? You got to get out of it and then make a decision. At least that's what I think.
Yeah, most people don't love themselves, is what I'm gonna say. And like it all goes back to, we're saying about like how to love, even your neighbor, like how you give so freely, how selfless you are. Um, you know, if when you love yourself, it looks different how you treat others. That's what I'm gonna say. So even when because this is something everybody can understand and relate to. So even when you're going through something, if you love yourself, there's a certain line that you'll have on how you treat others. Now, if you don't love yourself, you're gonna be out here like whatever, all of that. That's where that comes from, and that's what that looks like. Those are people who do not love themselves. They just don't know that because they think like this is me time. They think like I'm out here doing me. Like that's a whole thing that is promoted and socialized as a movement of how to respond to hurt or something like that, and really it's not productive and it's not healthy and it's definitely not fulfilling. But I think when you love yourself, the way you respond to others just look different no matter if it's a mistake or not.
True, true. But again, I think it depends in if how much pain you're in the moment when you face that decision of showing love. Because if you're in a lot of pain, it's so hard to give, unless that's just who you are deep down, and you don't have to go search for it. Like for me, I don't need to search for. I don't need to go deep to find love to give to somebody, even when I'm hurting, because
Yeah,
that's
I'm like
just
you in that way.
right. But not everybody is like that.
Hmm.
So sometimes we have to understand people and meet them where they are, right? And we can't judge them because they're not doing what we're doing or what we would do, because they're not wired the way we're wired, right? And so it's difficult,
That's a
but it's
great point.
not, like I'm not trying to make excuses for nobody, because I do believe the best the best way to live is live with love, and then everything else would fall in place.
That's all I'm saying.
Right. So yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah, but we're also similar in that way. So like you said, to your point, and I thank you for bringing that into my awareness, because I do have like a very optimistic belief in the good of everybody, no matter what type of personality and mindset, that I can be dismissive of the
Right.
fact that there are just different personality types, and no matter how hard you love them, that personality doesn't like happiness. Like straight up, you know how there's literally a saying called misery loves company. Why does that exist? Because some personalities don't like happiness. They love
Right.
misery. And they do. Like there are personality types who will be in a relationship, and unfortunately I watched this dynamic exist between a couple of people that I actually really cared about, and it was so toxic. But they would have a happy moment, and the husband, no matter how beautiful the moment was, would find a way to like just pick with her or like embarrass the kids if there was a group
Oh
around. Like
man.
he would just create, I mean, every time without fail. And that was just like he felt more comfortable when it was like chaos like that. Like if it was he would get uncomfortable, like, oh, it's too happy here. And I don't know if he was aware of that or not, but every time it was just a happy mood or moment, and he used to make the guests and everybody just feel so uncomfortable to the point where like nobody wanted to, be around them anymore. But again,
Oh wow.
you're right, they're just different personality types, and some of them unfortunately have been through so much as far as trauma or neglect or whatever has made them that way, because I don't think that's natural. God does not create us this way. Something happens along the way that a person allows themselves, because you got to give permission to these things to manifest in your spirit and your
Right.
personality, but they allow themselves to be hardened in their heart in that way. And they want to see that for others as well. Like, even in our community of golden people, right? In our community of like just being, like we are, there's a culture of let me talk bad about you, and that's a culture. We're funny, ha ha ha. Thoughts become things. That just might have manifested in that person's spirit. And there's another saying that there's truth to every joke. So if there's truth to every joke, why as a culture do we make doing saying this about you and your family like thing that is accepted? I just see things differently, and I see how things that are like this that could be looked at as small and minuscule actually create a really big societal issue.
Right. When like in regards to that, like I think you also have to accept it. Like if somebody were to like be negative towards you and say all these negative things about you, you could just come bounce off you and just go. But if you accept what they're saying,
Right.
if you accept everything that they're telling you, oh, you're dumb, oh, you're not smart, oh, you this, you that, then it's a problem. But if you were to tell me all these things, And I look at you and be like, no, I know me. No, it does not, right? So in regards to like comedy and stuff, I love comedy. I love comedy. I don't see the negative part of it because me personally think it's jokes until somebody takes it too hard and be like, oh,
Which
maybe
always happens.
I really does
Always
suck.
happens.
But that's not on the comic. It's on the person,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? It's on the
Mm-hmm.
person to either, well, don't get in the environment knowing there's a chance that that's going to happen, right? Or really get to know yourself, because you can't I feel like you can't stop jokes because there's a chance it might cause somebody to be offended.
So more specifically, not comedians, because I love comedians and comedy too. But I'm talking like maybe like the school environment where like teenagers are like, joning or however you say it, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like when they're doing that thing to other kids or each other for like the laughs of their peers. And it's very obvious this one child is not somebody who, can match that. It's not a joke for them. Like this is a thing, you know what I'm saying? It's a form of bullying, really. But most people, because if it's funny, I mean, we're all human, right? So you get a good one out, everybody's gonna laugh. But the person being targeted, might be internalizing that because there's this whole collective group it might feel like they believe it because they're laughing. When really the laughter is because, like you said, it's just funny. It's not that we think that of you. It's not even that the person saying it think that of you. They're just seeking attention. And like, at what point do you sacrifice someone so that you can be, praised or have the attention or affection of others? And so that's what I mean. Not the comedians. Like everybody's
Okay.
grown over there. Yeah, everybody's grown. That's not the issue. But like as far as, like that culture of like joning, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it, like joning, like when they're, it's supposed to be a fun thing, but really you're like going at somebody and they're going at them in real ways. Like, Timmy's mom cannot afford to buy him shoes. So he's
Right.
wearing the third hand-me-down from his older brother and the one after that. So he the third one wearing these same pairs of shoes. And, Johnny decides, look at Timmy's shoes, everybody, blah, 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 blah. And Johnny's got all the jokes about Timmy's shoes and Timmy's, Dolly Parton, this happened to her. Dolly Parton, the country music singer, and she's like you and I. She has like this confidence in herself. She knows herself and she loves herself and all of that. And so, beautiful soul. Shout out Imagination Library. She sends books to every child born in America for the first 5 years of their life. Every month, the child get a new book. And so,
Right.
one of the books that came to my daughter is called My Coat of Many Colors or something like that. And it's actually a song she made as well. And it's about her being bullied because her family was so poor that her mom sold, I think, forgive me if I say it wrong, but I believe she sold washcloths together to make a jacket for her. And so when Dolly went to school, this same scenario, what I'm talking about, the kids, da 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 da, look at you, da, da, da. And like, but she had a different response. She's like, my mom made this. I feel like this is worth more than any jacket any of y'all are wearing. My mother
Right.
cared enough to sit down and stitch this, but not every child have that personality. So they don't grow up to be a successful adult who says, let me send a book every month to every child in America for 5 years. They grow up to be, yeah, I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna break you down. Like, that have a different effect.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Yeah, this is tough, man. Like, bullying is a serious thing. And it needs to be dealt with, but I don't know if it will or if it can be. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
either.
It's just been, but it needs to be taken seriously, because
Yeah.
yeah, it could destroy people's lives real quick.
Yeah. And then people like you and I gotta find creative ways to chat about building them back up.
Right? I guess they give us work.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
That's a good thing.
no, but on a real though, it's a serious thing, It's a serious thing.
I think it goes back to love. Everything goes back to love. So, those people who are like that, they just might need some, focused attention on them,
Right.
because if that is the way in which you seek attention, it says like you're not getting it in healthy ways. So you've created
That is
this
true.
other way Yeah. Yeah.
That is true. You don't get it, so you try to create it. Listen, I have to ask you. I know you're the host here. You're the host, but
Whatever. You're my sensei.
I see you doing your modeling stuff again, and you're back under the big lights. How is that
Thank
going?
you. There's just been so much grace and favor. And if I'm honest, there were glimpses of like what God wanted to do in my life before, like maybe even like 10 years ago, 11 years ago. I started like maybe 12 might be more accurate now. But I
Right,
started, it's the same thing. It was like pageants, hosting, like it was like literally the same thing, but on the level of 12 years ago. And I didn't like run from it, but maybe a little bit. And it wasn't like from the opportunity, it was from who I was at that time. Like I can talk about these things we're digging deep into about character flaws or issues because I was there. I
right.
was there. Like I hate to say this because I'm not proud of it, but I've been a mean girl. You know, I can make you cry with my words. You know what I mean? Like I
I've never been there.
yeah, unfortunately I was like, and I was hurt, you know what I mean? And it came from a space of people doing that. And, it just was a lot going on there. So like, I don't say this because I don't understand. I say it because
Right,
I'm on the other side of that. So I see how I believe that everybody can get to the other side because I've been on both sides of the spectrum before. So, when I was there though, just by knowing yourself and having that true love, because the love of myself and the love of God is what kept me from destruction. It was just a defense mechanism of like protect myself, keep you over there, to protect myself. But I was like, I don't like who I am right now. So I don't want this thing that God is doing in my life, all this favor, all these opportunities, all these celebrities like scouting me and wanting to work with me and stuff like that. I don't let this hit right now, Father. I'm not the best person because if it would have hit right then, I don't know. Like I was not the best person in my character for it to hit right then. So I didn't necessarily like run from it, but I did go like I like kind of went to work on myself and like get to know me for like a decade, I would say, and just let God do that. And then God came to me. I had like an encounter with God. And then that just like kind of really shifted everything to where it needed to be. So I'm really grateful. It's going very well now because God always wanted this for me. And again, I'm
right.
just grateful I had the wisdom to become my best self before stepping fully into it. You know what I mean?
Nice, nice. Man, it's impressive to see, like, because I saw the pictures back then that you were doing it, and then you kind of quit, and I didn't know
I
what
didn't quit.
happened
I
in
went to work
between.
on me. Now you
Right.
know.
Okay. You went to work on you, and then you went into different things, the marketing, understanding people, and I guess loving on yourself. Someone you come right back, and know you're better now
Wow. Thank you.
than you were then because you have to
Yes.
go around that, go through that. So what that tells me is sometimes for entrepreneurs and whoever's trying to do something, if it's not working out for you or it appears to not be working, maybe it's just not your time. Maybe you need another couple years to grow into whatever it is that you're trying to get into. Because if you want to get into it, you will fall right out of it and never go back into it,
Yeah.
right?
Or
And
maybe be just traumatized by not being able to hold on to whatever it is
right,
because
and then
you don't
it's
have the
lost
capacity.
forever.
Right. And the way you're perceived is like ruined probably forever, depending on what you did. Because there's so many examples of that, right? Like people who make it and they're like not good people necessarily, and then they're perceived a certain way by people like us who don't even know them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yep, you're right.
Yeah. So man, it's keep doing what you're doing. I don't know how you're doing it. Well, you know how you're doing it. But
The grace of
because it's
God.
just that every time I see you, it's something else. I'm like, wow. I'm here looking, I'm like, wow, that's incredible.
Wow,
That's
thank you.
amazing.
Thank you.
From all the way across the water. Not I want the water, but the bridge.
Across the water, we can say it. Let's be dramatic.
Across the world. You know?
Yes, all
Yeah.
the way over there. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
but
appreciate that.
man, yeah. So what else is new and exciting and what's going on? Talk to me.
Yeah, I haven't formally announced it yet, and why not say it? But I'm going for Miss Universe. So I'm representing, like I said, everything's full circle. So maybe I forget how long ago it was, but at this point, around that same time period that we're talking about, where I was actually becoming a better person at that point. I wasn't all the way there yet, but I was, more progress. And I represented DC in a pageant organization. So, now here I am, Miss DC again, but Miss DC
Wow.
USA Universe. Yes,
How,
I'm really
like,
proud of that
how,
because I
like,
love my career.
how do you get that title?
Ooh, so for me, again, it's a grace and favor thing. There's so much alignment that happens when you're doing what's inside of you, what you're called to do. They're one of my wellness mentors, and God bless her. She has been an amazing soul, just like you, just like dropping knowledge on me and giving to me for like nothing in return, just love. She says it's your remembered self, your remembered self. All of us know what we should be doing and who we are. A lot of people just choose to disconnect from that. So when you find your remembered self, you're able to be more whole. So my
Mhm.
remembered self knew I wanted to branch out to be able to serve more people. So I entered into Miss World International. Well, Miss World International also owns Miss Universe. And so after competing and getting familiar with the organization, God put it on my heart. And it was so funny because a lot of people would like send me messages over the years. The universe gives you clues. And they would say like Miss Universe, Miss Universe. And I'm like, why are they saying that? I thought it was so weird. And then I end up with this organization that I didn't know owns this other organization that now I'm a part of. So that's how that happened. And since I already won one of their titles, Model of the Year, they I'm just gonna be honest with you, gave me the title when I told them I was interested in representing DC. So it was like, you want to represent DC? Perfect. Well, you're already our queen, so here you go, and we'll
Is
see you at
this
the
it?
big
Okay.
competition. Yeah,
Nice,
favor.
nice, nice.
God is so good. Like again, there's so much alignment when you're doing what's in you and what you're supposed to be doing. It all, like you said, you give freely and things come freely, but you don't do it
Come,
for that.
yeah,
But it's
yeah,
what happens. It's a byproduct. So
yeah.
I just keep giving freely and finding ways to serve, and God just keeps elevating me into positions of impact that will allow me to reach and serve more.
Nice. Sorry. Gotta get some more water
Yeah.
in
No, I feel like, wow, you're interviewing me now.
there.
That's so funny. You couldn't
Yeah,
help it. You
it's
couldn't
your
help
show.
it.
I gotta get a little piece of it. I gotta ask my own questions.
Yeah, you're curious. And Emmy's doing well. Her learning group, we just started developing the curriculum. So we're getting more formal and intentional about how we're gonna serve there. And she's doing her first pageant competition soon. It's not really a
What?
competition, but it's like an introduction to pageantry as well. So I'm excited for her about that. But yeah, that's pretty much what's new
What?
for us.
Oh, hold on. One more thing. What about the TV show?
I was just an extra in a Wesley Christmas wedding. Wow, it was so cool. Like all these
Yes, I
really
think I
big
saw that
stars.
one.
Yeah, now that was an experience. Oh my God, it felt so dreamlike. Like it was like this dream state. Like I felt like I was like there, but I wasn't there at the same time. What do you call it? Like in shock. Boom. I was like in shock that like God had this for me because the way it was unfolding was just like you can't make it up. So it was like last minute, I find out about it. You got to take COVID testing. I happen to already have it. God will give you everything you need.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I got an at-home COVID test. Take it, a negative, take the picture, send it to them, show up to the spot. I'm just chilling. I had to my stylist tell me what to wear. When I shot Union, they didn't like what I was wearing. So I got rejected for like a lot of the scenes that they had some of the extras in. So I don't even know if I'll be actually seen in that or not. But I was there and I did shoot. But like I said, like they didn't like a lot of my outfits because the color was like bringing too much attention versus you being an extra and supposed to kind of blend in or whatever. So my stylist did something different for a Wesley Christmas wedding, and I went to like what do you just like kind of the bathroom. Okay, I was just like trying to prep, or I don't know, maybe I got like antsy or something. And let me tell you about the Holy Spirit. So God is so good. I walked to the bathroom, and there's a woman who sees me coming back and she's like pointing at me. I don't know what's going on, but I do know I'm here to shoot a film. So did you just call me? Is it my turn? Like, I don't know what's going on. So I go over to her and I'm like, hey, how y'all doing? Like, you talking about me? Like, did you need me? Like, y'all just ready? You know what I mean? And she was like, yeah, I was just telling them I want to remember you because I like your look. And I was like, okay,
What?
thank you, Jesus. You know what I mean? I want to remember y'all remember her. You see her, right? Her, okay. And she was like, we're gonna get you to play a waitress. So the way they set it up is I get to be like actually like in a major scene. It's not like I'm in a background,
Right.
like you're not gonna watch that movie and not see me. Let's put it that way. And that was
Oh
just the
wow.
favor of God. It was so like, what if I didn't go to the bathroom right then? But again, your remembered self. If people listen to their self and what their self tells them to do, there are just so many things that will open up as a result. I don't believe like thoughts or intuition just exist so that you can just have that experience. It exists so you can do something about it. And so did I need to go to the bathroom right then? Like I said, I think I just got antsy. I don't know. Maybe Holy Spirit was like, walk over there right now. I don't know. But I'm glad I did it. And there are just so many celebrities that I admired and watched, mostly on like BET or like Black Entertainment. Well, that is BT, but like, just our culture, like movies, films, and shows. And
Right.
to be that close to them and like to have met them and just like been in the scenes with them and stuff like that. It really was
That's
an
pretty
honor.
cool.
And
It's pretty
yeah,
cool.
and the woman who pointed me out, she's actually the director. You know what I mean? So
I
the
saw
director,
because I saw you post a picture with her
yeah, wow,
on your
Patricia.
on your Instagram.
Yeah, and I was just so like just proud of her for being a Black woman in leadership and production. There were just so many women leaders in that production, and again so many phenomenal actors as well, and everybody was so kind. It just was a good vibe. Like I told you, it felt dream state-ish. Like even right now as I'm speaking about it, there's like a disconnect from like, did I really do that? Like like I don't know, it hasn't like fully set in yet.
That is pretty cool though. But how do you even sign up to be an extra?
My manager is very well connected and
You have a
respected and
manager?
loved. Yeah, Julius Foster, shout out. Shout out Mazov TV. Thank you. And Mazov Management and Mazov Engineering. And so he there's a funny story about that as well. But he, like I said, is well connected, well respected, well loved, in the industry. And he sees something in me that I'm grateful that he sees, and he supports me in a way that is miraculous. And with that, he saw the opportunity, sent it to me. I just did what he told me to do, and God favored me with an actual call back. I mean, it was an email back, but language in the industry was a callback. So
Nice.
yeah,
Wow. Wow. I can't wait to see that movie.
me either.
When is it dropping? Next year?
So the current one is out now. It's called a Wesley Christmas movie, and you can watch it on BET Plus. And so the next one is probably going to come out the same time this year. So the last one just came out like in around Thanksgiving-ish, that time when most people are releasing their Christmas movies. So I
Right.
imagine this one will come out around
Ah,
that time as well. Right. But
wow.
everybody did a great job in the first film. It's very enjoyable to watch. You're gonna laugh. It's super fun. You're gonna relate to some of the characters and even some of the family experiences. And the same thing with the one that will be released.
That's cool. That's cool. I always wanted to be like an extra, be in the background, be like,
Ooh, you gotta come make that trip. You want to make that trip or no?
oh man.
You can
Oh
do it. You
yeah.
got the personality for it. You got the look for it, and definitely have the favor on your life for it. You're a good spirit. Like people are gonna see that in you, just like they see it in me. You know,
One day. One
when
day.
God says so.
Yeah. I'm not forcing it.
That's right. That's right. I
It's just
wasn't
gonna happen.
looking either. That's right. I'll keep you in
It's cool.
mind though. Like if I see anything, I'll send it to you because you just never
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Do it. Do it. Because I just think it's cool. Like it's not even like I just think it's cool. You know? I
It
don't know
is.
why. It's just
because there's
cool.
a space for you there. That's one of those things about your remembered self. God has put that attraction for it inside of you because he must have it for you. And that's what people they're not really aware of. Like when you're like
Maybe.
drawn to something, it's yours, you know. So what are you most
Well,
excited about for this year? I know we just got started, but what are you most
what am I most
excited
excited
for?
about?
Mm-hmm.
My that word again, that my photography business.
Yes.
Just building that. Like I like it a lot. And pushing people into prints over digital photos, because you have digital photos and like this phone I have thousands of pictures. You don't watch them, but like I'm looking over here right now. I did a couple prints for my mom with my daughter and my niece and nephews, and it's something
Mhm.
that you see every day. You know what I mean? So like just having prints, having things in your house that you could remember, just making people realize, hey, listen, photography is something that okay, basically I saw a quote the other day. It says something like a photo is taking a picture of a moment in life that would never happen again. Something like that. Because this will never happen again. This specific moment.
That's
And
right.
so capturing it and having it is like having a piece of history that will never happen again right in front of you. Like making you realize like those type of things, those type of thoughts, right? Because even my wedding picture, I'm looking around like everywhere. I can't find none because it was on digital. You don't print
Oh
nothing. If you
wow.
don't print, right. It's
That's right. You
what
had to get it
so
developed.
you gotta have stuff printed and developed and there. So yeah, that's kind of my movement, my push, my goal for the year. I just building, not forcing it, just building it, growing it, naturally, you know, whatever. I don't know if that's a word, but you know what I mean.
I feel like it is. You were so graceful about how you used it. So I felt like it was real. But building it out, I am looking forward to shooting. I don't know when we're gonna make that trip, but when we do, I am looking forward to shooting together because like you
Yes.
love photography, I love modeling. Like, I don't care how we're gonna say young. I don't care how young I get. You know what I'm saying? I will always love modeling, and it's just a very special connection about the time in life in which modeling adopted me, in
Right.
which I embraced the beauty of myself in whatever facet it showed up. And so, what is your connection with photography? Is it something deeper than just being able to capture that moment? Was there an experience that like made you aware of this passion? Or was it just something you decided to give a whirl and then discovered that you're passionate about?
Um, I've always liked taking photos. Now with a big camera with my phone, I always liked it. And then marketing we got into, and to be a good marketer, you gotta have good photos, good videos, be able to, so that, and then taking pictures of melody. And I'm like, man, I'm pretty good at this. Then I got a camera. Now I have a camera, I have to study because I don't just want to. So I studied like a madman, like crazy hours, learning the ins and the outs about everything. And that took me about a year. So I didn't rush into it. It took me about a year. And yeah, that was it. It was just the process of going from trying to get photos for marketing to taking photos of melody all the time to
Beautiful.
falling in love with this camera that could create images that outer-worldly or whatever the word is. And that was it. That was it. There was no going back from there.
Wow. That's amazing. And how long has it been now since that moment where were like, I like taking pictures on my phone, but I'm gonna get a camera. So when was that?
Well, so I got the camera last December,
Okay.
but I knew I liked taking pictures way before that. But I just figured, man, $800, I'm not getting that.
Oh yeah, that's an investment, right? They're an investment. The cameras, the software, all of it.
Right. I'm like, $800, man. This camera phones are good. This phone, right? So there was no real need to get a camera because the phones could take really good pictures.
Mhm.
But then I wanted to get better ones for the marketing stuff, the marketing business. So then I'm like, you know what? I'll get a camera. I'll sacrifice to get a camera, and that's where it started. Because once I had that in my hands, I realized that the difference between the DSLR and the cell phone is night and day.
It is. It is.
And
Yeah, I'm thinking
then,
about getting ones too.
yeah. And yeah, and that's after that, it was just like, boom, blew up. That's
How do
it.
you stay organized? Like, because for me, my hesitation surrounding getting one is like it's another device. So like that kind of overwhelms me a little bit. Like, but I'm attracted to it because like having the separation of like, the photos are where they should be in a camera versus like the camera phone having the photos and everything else.
Right.
But like, are you hooking up to your computer and backing up immediately? Are you letting it store? Are you using the SDs? Like, what are you doing to like stay organized? Because that's where I feel overwhelmed at the idea of it.
So every time I shoot, I take it out of the camera. Like I will take it out the same day, put it
Okay.
onto Lightroom where I edit, and so it's off the camera the same day, and onto Lightroom in the editing software, do my thing, and it's gone. Either it's
Okay.
sent to the person or whatever, right? Um, so that way it's not like, oh my gosh, there's 10,000 pictures in the camera that I haven't done anything with.
Exactly. Ooh, it gives me so much anxiety just like
I
the
don't.
thought of that.
But you see, you gotta try to not allow it to get to that. So every shoot,
Yeah.
you get it, you deal with it. Because if you let it back
Okay.
up, then it's like, oh,
That's
and
deep.
that's
I might need to look at some other areas of my life. Were we still talking about photography? I feel like that could apply to some other areas.
you
You're
see.
preaching
So
to me. You're preaching. So,
yeah.
what was your most fun shoot? Like, I know probably every single one of them because it is a unique memory captured. But what's your most like memorable? It might be two different shoots. Your most memorable shoot and your most fun shoot. The shoot you had the most fun at.
Most fun, I would say, I did some pictures for a rapper.
Ooh, sounds
He's
different from like the weddings and all that.
and because he had this song about Toronto, TORNTO, blah blah blah, and he wanted to take pictures in Toronto. So that was pretty cool, right? Just like um, taking pictures of the city on the subway,
That sounds
um,
cool.
all over, right? Um, so that was pretty cool. Memorable, I would say probably the wedding. I
Oh,
I love
yeah,
weddings now. I
me
love
too.
shooting weddings now. Um, it was nice. It was fun. It was different.
Yeah. And you did such
Yeah,
a beautiful job. Wow.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, the
Yeah.
wedding was different. Yeah, it was fun.
Do you work online at all? Like, for example, like, if there was somebody watching this and they wanted to reach out to you for edits, because I know you do edits too, would they be able to like take their own pictures and send them to you for like editing services? Or are you exclusively like, I take the picture and edit, it's not separated?
No, it's not separated. They can send it to you to edit though.
That's right, they could. Huh? I'm
Exactly.
at your girl. C3 Business Management on Facebook.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's one of the things we offer.
You offer a lot. You offer a lot. So yeah,
Thank
we
you.
gotta talk about that a bit more.
Let's do it
Uh,
whenever you're ready.
I'm ready after this because I know you're free,
Awesome.
right?
So, with that being said, we're going to get to some business, you guys. Tell them ready where to find you.
Oh yeah. So you can find me on Instagram, my photography business, Marvin Daly Photography. Oh, is that it? Yeah.
It's okay. We got a couple of businesses, so that happens.
At Marvin Daly Photography. And my website is marvindaly.ca, marvindaly.ca. And yeah, you find me there, you find me everywhere else through that.
Fantastic. It's been a blessing having you. You already know, like, you hold a special place in my heart for just take me
Can I
under
do
your
that
wing
thing?
when I first came
How
in
do you
that
do that
class.
thing? Like
You
this?
hold
Oh,
a
I can't even do
special
it.
place in my
Oh, okay,
heart.
okay, there you go.
Yeah, thank
Something
you
like
for
that.
taking me under your marketing wing. And yeah, I appreciate you. And I hope to see you back here again. Started out with you interviewing me, and now I got you here. Ooh, look at that. Full circle, full circle. This is exciting. Miss you guys. I hope you enjoyed us. And I hope that you learned something about yourself today and how you can create more of an impact for others and increase the vibration of the world. Thanks for hanging out at Creative Chat. So thanks again
Yeah,
for coming. God bless you. We'll see you soon.
thank you.